All right, welcome to Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade. Gabe Henderson here alongside former Vikings linebacker Ben Leber. And Ben, Vikings lose 37-10 today, the worst loss that the Vikings have suffered in the regular season since Week 15, 2016. Offense couldn't get going. Garrett Bradbury, the second longest reception of the night. That is not what you want as an offense. So I need to just hear your thoughts on this Minnesota Vikings offense today that barely had over 200 total yards.
Okay, I just want to let everybody know the reason why we're giggling right now, and look, it's not because we're laughing at our Vikings team, but it's a good thing that we can do multiple takes with this show because my first take, I had a really aggressive slip, and we had to cut. So now we are laughing and giggling about it.
It will not air.
Look, the offense was just not good. It just wasn't good. You know, we thought we were going to see a lot more of Dalvin Cook. We thought we were just going to just feed Cook the ball, whether it's screen passes, some creative ways to get the ball to his hands and get him out in space. It just didn't happen. You know, our offensive line got dominated once again. You know, some inside pressure. We couldn't open up the holes. The passing game was just short, quick. And they just sat on all those throws. They just called a coverage to where you had a bunch of guys underneath the linebackers, safeties. They just sit really shallow in that coverage. We just drop it down, check down, dink and dunk, and they were there to make the tackle. So too many third and long situations we couldn't convert, and way too many 3-and-outs.
Yeah, way too many 3-and-outs. 6 3-and-outs on 11 drives for the Minnesota Vikings offense tonight. And you look at that and say, well, if you want to keep the ball away from Aaron Rodgers, you got to sustain some of those drives. And we're not able to do that. But on the defensive side of the ball, no matter what we did, Aaron Rodgers just outdid it. And granted, he's arguably the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He has his feel for the game is second to none. But how our defense played first half versus the second half, you can tell that they started to get tired down the end of the stretch. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, I think the first 3 drives for our defense was pretty good. You know, there was that bend but don't break. We gave up some yards on the ground, but you know, our guys were running to the football, playing fast, playing physical, and I was like, man, if our defense can do this, you know, throughout the game, then we're going to stay in this game, and then who knows? You know, something fluky might happen, but you know, they started to pick us apart. You know, they started to get some tips on pre-snap reads with our blitz package. They started to pick us apart, start throwing away from Harrison Smith a little bit. Then they started hitting the play-action game to kind of take advantage of our linebackers being aggressive downhill. So then at that point in time, coupled with the fact you get all those 3-and-outs, which happened really early in the game, all those 3-and-outs, they don't get a rest on the sideline. Mentally and emotionally, you get tired and worn out going against one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in the game, and that's just a recipe for disaster. And we could never find a rhythm.
Well, the Vikings they don't make the playoffs for the second straight season. The Green Bay Packers now clinched the #1 overall seed in the NFC. And Ben, if I'm a betting man, I'm saying neither the Vikings or the Green Bay Packers play their starters next week in Week 18. How would you see that?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, obviously for the Packers, they're going to have, you know, not only next week, they're going to have multiple weeks to rest all their guys, and they've got a bunch of playmakers that have been out for a large part of the season that they're going to expect back for the playoffs. So, you know, good for them. But you know, for the Minnesota Vikings, look, these guys, these players are investments, and you have to protect the investments going forward. You know, so some of your big name players that you're going to account for next season, or look, and to be honest about this world, that if there are a few guys that they want to maybe move in the offseason via trades and stuff like that, you have to keep those players healthy. So this is about protecting assets. And I think that you play some of the young guys, I would expect that Kellen Mond gets all the #1 reps during the course of the week. I would expect that he gets the start and you know, outside of injury, plays the whole game. You know, I don't think that Dalvin Cook and JJ, and certainly not Thielen, even if he is healthy, and obviously he's not because of the surgery. But you know what I'm saying? The star players, no, this is going to be like the last preseason game.
You already kind of hit on this a little bit, but we'll just end it with this. As a Minnesota Vikings team, where do you go from here with 1 week left in this season and a long offseason to go?
You know, I don't know where they go, honestly. I think that's what everybody is speculating, you know, even before this game, playing the what-if game. You know, do we see coaching changes? Do we see front office changes? Is it either or? Is it both? You know, I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
I just know that get ready for an interesting offseason, because I do think that there's going to be some tough decisions being made, and with every year,
that's the league.
You're going to find players that you love and adore that just aren't on your team the next year. That's just the turnover for the NFL, and looking at the cap situation too, there's going to have to be some tough cuts there, and then maybe some restructures. So, hey, the NFL is a never-ending cycle, and it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, we got one more week of this. We got one more week of Vikings content that we do every single week. The Audible, one more show that we got. I think JJ is next week, and then Minnesota Vikings podcast, everything Vikings related. You can go to Vikings.com for the most up-to-date coverage of the team. For Ben Leber, my name is Gabe Henderson. This is Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade at Lambeau Field.